6 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. The first order of business is one pledge to the flag. You almost lost your. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, how I love it a little. All right, that's on the team. I struck you. I'm right back in. You all right, Chuck? Long way from that. As Jay's dangerous. It almost got me a few minutes ago. Long way from that. Yeah, number 3 here, we'll review and approve the minutes of February 3rd. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Members reports, start with Ron. Juggy? No. Yeah.
When do they start talking about fixing the road down to the middle of Main Street, you know? Because every single night just gets getting worse. I know it's not our deal.
Oh, I just saw something on that too.
Main Street?
Yeah, in the schedule, if you will.
Yeah, so we're trying to get up the bid right now. The message that I got today from DOT was that because we've been doing surveying and right of way stuff. We settled out the right of way stuff 2 weeks ago. Today, the whole of this water district and needing to have a meeting with representatives from the water district about valves, hydrants. It's happening this summer. The mill and fill project and the sidewalk project. They should all happen at the same time. It'll be nice.
So then it gets recoded.
Yeah.
All the way up through.
Yep.
And that's right, in the quite a bit other places here in town that are getting recoded by the state, yes?
I don't know right offhand.
Yeah.
We had a question about Bridge Street coming today and I need to follow up on that, but it's just a short section that just gets ignored.
Yeah, and I want to say it might be on there, but yeah. And from me, anything I had, I forgot. So we'll just kick it right over to town, Richard, for the town manager report.
All right, franchise fee payment came in. That was about where we had expected it, and that's up just slightly above where we budgeted. So that was good. Had a call with the New Balance Foundation last week. It's been a little bit of a disconnect since the last person left, but they reached out to me and wanted to know what our needs were. Primarily, they're focused on Parks and Rec, but they have said, you know, we know that we're not operating there, but we're still committed to the community. Our associates live there, and we are impacted. So that was great. I met yesterday with folks from Haley Ward regarding the new library building. They are working on the program for the proposed library. You remember the list that's been floating around for 16 months-ish. The library trustees had initially put through about their priorities and space requirements or whatnot. When that was all rolled out and into committee, we ballparked at 3,400 square feet. But that's just with what was wanted, and what they have is a circulation factor. It's nothing to do with books, but circulating around the building. So that's what does the thickness of walls cost you. You can have all these rooms, but you need hallways, things like that. And so they create this circulation factor that levels out your square footage once you get all your wants and needs into it. That puts the building at about 5,200 square feet, which is quite a bit larger than what we thought. The largest portion of that arguably is the community space that was targeted, and that's a relatively low cost compared to the rest of it because there's very little infrastructure required in that community space. It's just largely raw open space. Needless to say, the preliminary look that I got yesterday looked very good. What they are doing for us is they're going to put it all together as a plan. They're going to fix that cost estimate to it. They're going to fix a cost estimate to it in 2 phases. So that you're able to get your library proper into community room depending on funding. In 2 separate phases, obviously, it'll come at an incremental cost. And candidly, the draft of the building is very unattractive without the dimension of a community room. But they're going to work on ironing that proposal out, and then they'll go to the committee at their next regular meeting, which will be in March. Also, I had a member of the committee suggested we work on a handout to be distributed at town meeting, and that was kind of in the works. Now, after my meeting with them this week, I think I have a little bit more preliminary draft substance that I think people would be interested in. It's not one of those things you can be able to say, oh, I don't like this, or oh, I like this, but at least people know that it's being worked on and it's coming down the line. Bigelow Hill Road, that we're still targeting to pave. So I met with the engineers today. They had a preliminary plan on that. Pretty much that is gonna be build up that gravel and get it ready to pave. And then there is a short section where it does get muddy and wet on the regular, and that would need to be rebuilt. Talking with the guy, one of the engineers today who I've never met. And I was explaining to him, what people say about it, the section of road and how it presents, and he's pretty sure he has nailed it down to the cause, and that is pretty much there's a valley there, and the water table is putting upward pressure on that road. So people would often say it's spring, but the fact of the matter is that with the high ground on those sides, the water table is very likely at or above the road. And so how do you get that out? It is under drainage, but the maintenance of that's difficult. This guy was gonna put it to it, and see what we could come up with. So anyway, if everything goes well, I'll review those plans again next week, and they want to bid it before the end of next week, so that we would be able to consider the award on April 1st. It's a little bit behind where I'd like to be, because the longer you wait to bid, the more difficult it is to get on the schedule. But we're far ahead of where we were last year, so that's gonna be a targeted bid. We'll mail the contact packets to certain contractors, but it will be a public document as well for folks that want to do it. We're not gonna go through the expense of, $2,000 to publish in the newspaper if nobody wants to.
You're doing the whole road, we're looking to do all the way through.
Yeah, some of their budgetary numbers don't seem to line up with what I would estimate that they would be. They proposed as an alternative that we could pull back and add our dog lodge. I don't believe in doing a project and not finishing it, so I really struggle with that. So this is a federal funded project. It's not at the end of our budget, so we'll
How
see.
long are you there, road?
I think it's 2.5 miles.
2.5.
Shorter than you think
Yeah.
in terms of distance. Seems like you're traveling 6 miles up there, but I think it's 2 miles. Yeah. So, and it's already in pretty good shape,
Oh, yeah, they rebuilt that whole thing.
but it's been 11, 12 years.
Yeah, I was
It's
actually
a lot of
surprised
work.
at how long it's been since that.
Mhm.
It's a lot of work to keep it that way too, right? And
Right, yeah, so a lot of, there's ditching, we've got to re-ditch the whole road to restore it. I think their estimate's very high, but it is what it is, and we'll see where it comes out. If it starts to be in the 6 figures, we're gonna have an honest conversation about whether or not we move ahead with it. But source of funding, it's inherent that something like that inflates because of the funding source, so.
Because it's too bad, hadn't got paid right when it did that, and it'd be done with it. That's when it took me trouble.
That's right. So that's Bigelow Hill. Code enforcement officer, the last 2 weeks have cleaned up 2 junkyards. There was kind of a small test run. You can add what you want on Upper Main Street. It was a junkyard, it was a visible junkyard. They said they were gonna do it. It was under consent order. Mutually agreed upon terms, it never happened, so with the tow service. They were able to get a handful of vehicles out of there, the property's in compliance. And then this week was Waterloo Road, and that was a much bigger project. And photos of the property indicate that they're now to compliance with junkyard. If either of those properties go back into junkyard conditions, everything that we've waived in terms of fines are automatically reinstated and non-negotiable. That's substantial incentive not to go back into violations, so. I think the especially the Waterloo Road one, I think brought some attention. It's not always gonna be positive attention for the town, but I think it does send the message to people that
Taking this.
your rights and where other people start, and when you maintain properties like that it affects the people around you. And we're not gonna sit by idly and allow you to continue to just do what you want to do, even though that's what everybody wants to do. So anyway, good.
Yeah. I mean, they went really well, actually.
I was surprised that didn't get emotional.
So the owners were actually fantastic, and the company that we used, their employees were fantastic, so really, sheriff, the civil people that we had, I mean, really, the team effort all the way around, and it went good, and I believe everything ended on a positive note. So.
How about delivery?
It is, and hopefully they continue like that, if these become necessary.
So I guess the only other thing I'll say, and it's just informational, but it public has had a lot of interest in it. And that is the way that we go about enforcing this at this stage. is to use a tow service. It's not, we're taking these cars and we're junking them. It's not. We utilize a tow service to impound these vehicles and equipment. And after 30 days of abandonment, they can file for the right to own it. The town has nothing to do with this, and so it required us to go get a licensed tow company with the capacity to handle the volume that we needed to do it. So
And the equipment, I mean, we had a massive front end loader, skid steers, 5 or 6 flatbeds at one point in time,
So who
2
pays them?
18-wheelers.
They must wanna get paid at the end of the week.
they will either get paid as getting out of impound, or they get paid in the form of abandoned vehicles.
So these homeowners can get their stuff back if they.
Oh, yeah,
In the
oh,
future.
yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
be-
Yes, exactly. And they can't come back to the property unless they are registered.
Inspected.
But if they're able to, one in particular was able to get all their vehicles back except one they chose to sell to the company we used. And they divvied the cars to another property.
Does a tow company take any of them? I mean, they buy junk cars, obviously, do they?
Yeah, so I think in one of the cases that they did purchase one of the cars that they removed. So there's some, opportunity there for the owners.
But the town doesn't have an ownership stake in any of this property. And we didn't use a local vendor because we don't have a local tow vendor with a yard that has capacity for this.
Or the equipment for that, I mean, really, the equipment, without it, these would have been, a week-long process, if not more.
I see no name on it. Are they a professional outfit to repo stuff and everything?
Yeah, they are, they're actually, they're new to our area, they're actually, they've got 3 or 4 different locations. Spread out across, Maine, so, that's what gave them the resources to have all the manpower, and the equipment. And I've actually come to find out that they have substantially more equipment, as we tackle some of our more, interesting properties.
Thank you to code enforcement. Won't mention
I
them.
didn't have to do much there, but everybody else really, it brought it
Well, it's
together.
been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for several years since I've been on the board.
Yeah.
That's just. Through.
Nice to see some movement, finally we have some properties going from red to green, if you will, which is just, this is the goal here.
I see some cracks in the snow up on Route 2 today. They put in there yesterday.
Well, I'm not sure, yeah,
Take that off my staff, thanks.
yeah.
The comprehensive plan committee met for the first time last week. The kickoff meeting went very well. And they discussed, what the process looks like and what sections would be reviewed and when. They've set their fixed meetings right now, the 4th Tuesday of each month at 4 o'clock. And they also came right out of the gate and said, we don't want this to stretch out. We want to get this done and buttoned up for next town meeting instead of dragging it through August 27th. So that was really encouraging. And we'll see how that comes along, but it was a really good and diverse group of, and I say diverse, people of different backgrounds, professionally, personally, all of that, and the talents that come with that. It's a pretty good group for the way that the committee came together, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. There is a new law that is going to go into effect later this year, an aim to regulate employer surveillance to protect workers. And that pretty much sets out guidelines for disclosure to employees, is to monitoring of devices, whether they're town owned or personal. It starts with tracking personal cell phones and stuff like that, which is, who would have thought that was a thing that we needed a solution to, but it also goes into the workplace and town owned technology. Surveillance and whatnot. So our IT contractors provided me with an explanation as to how they monitor our systems, how that stuff is maintained and tracked. And so I'll include that in a larger disclosure that we'll issue to all employees about that and surveillance and whatnot here in short order. But just kind of one of those things that snuck in the last session. Liquor licenses, those came through, those used to come to the board. Now I just report them here. If there are no issues or conflicts, Six Penny Jug and Madhouse have both come in since your last meeting. Town meeting, the second at the school, voting during the day until 7 o'clock, open meetings at 7:30. Absentee ballots are still available. We got 7 out in the last 2 weeks. And then you've got your schedule of meetings there. The library building committee, yeah, that's all right. I updated that already, so that's all I know. I think that's it. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Number 6 here, discussion action on February 18th, general warrant number 4.
Make a motion to approve general warrant for the amount of $220,582.62.
The motion,
I'll second.
second. Any discussion? Industrial protection services?
Yeah, I just looking at.
That is for the SCBA mounts.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it's fire department.
Yeah, it goes with the new car.
That makes sense. Yeah, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Number 7 here, discussion action on February 18th, airport warrant number 2.
Motion to approve airport warrant number 2 in the amount of $1,704.37.
Motion and a
Second, also.
second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. My signature gets worse every time. Public comment. Peter? So we'll just roll right past that. Number 9 here, public hearing on proposed ordinances. We will open the public hearing on the town of Norridgewock ethics ordinance. Anything from the public on that? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing on the town of Norridgewock ethics ordinance and open the public hearing on the 2026 amendments to the town of Norridgewock sewer use ordinance. As Peter doesn't have anything, we will close the public hearing on the sewer use ordinance changes. Lastly, here we will open the public hearing on the town of Norridgewock subdivision ordinance. Seeing nothing from the public, we will close the public hearing on the amendments to the town of Norridgewock subdivision ordinance. Rolling forward here, number 10, we will open the public hearing on the appropriation of ARPA funds for the purchase of 1 set of fire terminal gear.
Okay, so this is a request from the fire department. The fire chief is traveling this week. Sent me the written request that you have in your packet. He spoke to this briefly in the past. We have a tall firefighter and wearing hand-me-down gear. In the past, we've paid since ARPA for turnout gear from this fund. And the chief is asking once again for authorization to purchase 1 set of turnout gear. The budgetary estimate that for his request is up to $5,000 for that gear for the one person.
For a while.
For the one firefighter.
1 set of gear. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. And pretty much everybody else is running brand new gear and the stuff we bought over the last 8 years.
ARPA means.
American Rescue Plan Act. There we go. Yep.
Doing what they.
I mean, I would entertain a motion if there's any discussion.
Hearing.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, so we'll, unless Peter has something. No, okay, we will close the public hearing on the appropriation of the ARPA funds for the purchase of 1 set of fire turnout gear. And move to number 11. Discussion action on the appropriation of the ARPA funds for the purchase of 1 set of fire turnout gear.
I'll make the motion to approve it up to the 5,000 so that we can get it.
Okay, there's a motion. Second on that. Got to do the second. Discussion. Anything? Pretty good use of the funds. I mean, it checks all the boxes. We did know it was coming. They talked about doing it out of their regular budget, but this just seems a bit more appropriate. I don't know what we have left in that account, but this certainly, again, checks all the boxes. Yeah, it is, right? I mean, there's no sense of earning regular budget money on a set of.
The stuff he's using now is probably pretty old, not Some of them.
It's the height, honestly, just the size of this particular person is much taller than anybody we've had and a little skinny, so it makes it, and he's really active, so I mean, it's important, it's far more important that he has gear than I do, if you will, because he's had the call and unknown, so, certainly is also a reward to, to get the gear with your name on the back, because all the new stuff does come with your name on the flat.
About $109,000 remaining.
So, plenty there, as far as he goes. So,
Worth the money.
unless you have any other discussion, all those in favor? And that's everybody. Number 12, discussion action on the TIP committee recommendation.
TIP committee met on the 9th to review proposed laundromat over at Kennebec Market. So this would be Kennebec Laundromat, formerly Ainsley's. The proposal is for a new 30 by 40 structure. As you look from the street in the front right corner, near the church, it's got a 10-foot setback on the property. The proposal would match the existing market. It provides exterior signage, lighting for that signage, downward lighting. They've been willing to add windows. Their estimate from their window and door supplier is, I think, $27,000 just in windows and doors. Right.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really get a whole cost breakdown from them because of the cost of their budget. Not that it's everybody's business or whatnot, but when people invest in the community like this, I think it's worth recognizing that. I mean, this is over $300,000 in stick building, and then another 300 and a half, 350 or so in equipment that's going to go into this building. And it's it's what has been listed on the town projects as a high demand service that we don't have right now. So it would be open when attended. They hope that they're able to negotiate a contract for a dry cleaning service as a pickup location, drop off location. And they would also like to a wash and fold, fluff and fold, where you could drop off your laundry by the pound or whatnot and have it serviced folded for you to pick up. So, happy to take questions. The committee recommended the maximum amount on the match. That's a grant in the amount of up to $12,500.
Wasn't there a couple of different proposals for a laundromat in town that got voted down or got denied?
So back when the town was looking to dispose of the old fire station, there was a proposal to put a laundromat there. I honestly can't remember exactly how that all transpired. I know there were concerns about its location in the downtown, hoping for a higher and better use for the property. There were significant concerns about parking related to that, and
The structure itself, I believe, actually was in question.
Yeah.
Due to some cracks in the slabs and walls.
No, I didn't know. Yep, I just knew there was, I thought there was at least one proposal, weren't sure why.
I
that was there. And then there was another one that kind of got preliminary float, but never really came in for any sort of formal permanent discussion.
That was across the street.
Right, there was talks about that side of the street and the laundromat and potential there if more real estate had opened up with a potential to reshape that corner and potential investors that would be willing. But like Richard said, it really never came to work.
Then I came to here.
Yeah,
There was another proposal out on 2 West that got that mile high discussion, and then that nothing came to this.
so this was tight. I mean, if you I don't believe you have an aerial. We were debating whether it would fit or not, and it does fit. I mean, when you actually get out there and measure the necessary space is there. Oh, so there you go.
Yep, so their tanks are back here.
Okay.
This is the proposal on their mat here. Yeah, and then you got your canopy here, your store here.
Yep.
And they were really good. I think they had hoped that it was going to be an informal process, but where the Ainsleys had done the major redevelopment already, the site was already laid out. And we had concerns about underground utilities, fuel, and whatnot. And so they did spend the extra investment to get this all sited and located.
propane tanks back there.
That's the,
Jason,
there's already
the-
one.
That's
There's one for dispenser now. right?
Yes, and I, honestly, this is a preliminary plan, but I thought it was important to have here. I don't think that the one to supply the laundromat can be located next to the one for dispensing. I think it's gonna be separate,
I think
and so that's gonna be relocated over, it's gonna be closer proximity to the trail access. But they've pledged that it's not gonna interfere with access.
Good, that's even better.
Yeah.
This is our best avenue for fuel, for snowmobiles in town.
Yeah.
No, sweet, I really, and like Richard said, I mean, this has kind of been, not everybody realizes it. But it is kind of an in-demand thing.
It is.
I didn't even realize I was talking to the customs of mine, who's had as well issues with water, so he is doing his laundry elsewhere to not put the strain on his well, which is something, if you don't have a water shortage, it's not something you think of. So yeah, I think this will certainly play out well for a lot of people in town.
There's been a lot of talk about needing that for a while.
Really, they've had, it's be nice for town folk not to have to take their laundry to
There was something down for a while.
oh, for years and years, it was the laundromat downtown, it was the old bus stop when I was in school,
Be another nice customer for the sewer district.
Yeah, it looked really well too, yeah.
It's gonna be a brand new building.
Yeah.
Good looking at it, too.
Yeah, so this is kind of a peak. This is technically, it's a separate parcel from the store. There used to be a parsonage there, and I'm encouraging them to come and apply again to maybe update signage on the existing store.
That's the time.
But,
How much do we have left in the TIF?
it fluctuates because of revenues and expenses. We have allocated the 450, I think, to
Main Street.
sidewalk project.
Yeah.
You did that probably a month ago. Right now there's 520,000 in there. And then if you take out the 450 that we'll pay before year end, add in the 85 that we would receive, pull out earmarks of already approved projects for this year, that's gonna net you at 144,000.
That we'll have left for the year.
Right.
Projects.
Cause that's, we're about 85 a year is what's going in now.
I've estimated 85 coming in this year. It'll all depend on what percentage we are in terms of assessment. We're 85 last year. If that goes down, which it will, then we have to hit the value of the pipeline by that. And if the mill rate goes down, then that goes down to the benefit again. It's kind of a fixed fee negotiation that happened with the pipeline.
Yep.
So
What's the timeline on this project?
they want to break ground in April.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Nice.
They want to kind of get it in and started so that it doesn't really conflict with the sidewalk, as well as there's some openings of the road and sidewalk that need to be done
Sure.
prior to.
Yeah, good. No,
Cause I think, is there a freeze on opening it up after? I was reading something and I don't wanna misspeak.
A layman would call it a freeze. If you tear that road up, you end up having to take care of all of it again.
Right.
I believe it was Gilman's. No, it wasn't, it was further out, almost across from Airport Road, there was a new building in there maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And they needed to get their sewer to the road, and in order to get their sewer line tied in at the road, they were going to touch Route 2, and that was still kind of that moratorium. And they were gonna have to pay to bring in materials and equipment from Massachusetts to get this experimental service to repair it, and they ended up getting an easement to the neighbors to tie in and shit.
It's important to have it done right.
yeah, well, you always see somebody spends all this money and does it, and then 6 months later, they're tearing it up for
Oh,
somebody.
and then it's never the same
It never,
afterwards, right? It never.
There's always a bump there, cost to you or something.
Yeah.
So, good.
So yeah, we are a motion, if you will.
So move to approve the 12-foot.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. The TIF committee's recommendation up to the 12-5 for the proposed laundry plan. We've got a second on that. Hearing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. In 13 here, discussion action on new road name.
All right, 629 Skowhegan Road, be quite candid with you, it's a blatant building violation, there's houses and structures that we just don't have. In the process of reviewing that, it just now, they have dwellings on one driveway, so they need a new road name. I got road names this afternoon. They've asked for do not enter way, no trespassing lane, and Honeywell Drive. My recommendation to the board.
Yes.
Well, try.
My recommendation would be Honeywell Lane. I mean, it's a gravel driveway heading out to the middle of the field, and it's really, unless it's a cow drive or something like that, it's not really a drive.
Is there a difference
Well,
between drive and lane?
we definitely not a drive. Just from a name perspective, drive can be paved.
Okay, I didn't know, I was right,
I was gonna ask the same thing, because my driveway was named Griffith Drive for a bunch of years, and then all of a sudden now it's Griffith Road. I don't know why
Really? Yeah, I don't know.
it probably changed maybe 10 years.
So we gotta Google that
That
this
is-
evening.
so.
And I asked him if they were amicable to Honeywell Lane, and he's like the Honeywell, it's a family name.
It is grandfather's.
Alright, so we,
Motion to go Honeywell Lane.
so there's a motion, is there a second? Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Excellent. Review of online public comment.
Sorry.
Not that time is the goal, but I didn't eat before I came either.
She mentioned when you was told us. 30 minutes and they, we didn't do it, it was 2 months ago. You're close to the goal.
All right, we have taking someone's car is stealing. Somebody else says that's true. Or anything for that matter. This one might have gone okay, so they say, but not everyone is going to be so nice. And I don't think that you should have the right to take people's cars. So that obviously stems from the update regarding code enforcement.
I can understand mixed feelings in regards to this. I do hope they all go so smoothly. I mean, we were really fortunate. I do think a lot of it comes back to communication with the owners.
Well, I think part of that could be, people might be thinking we're taking their daily driver,
Right.
which isn't the case.
Ample opportunity to come work something over us, right?
You, with code, you have endless opportunities to work these out. I guess my recommendation is to have the meetings. To shut the town out really isn't an option with these. And once it gets as far as these have, it's really beyond code's ability to modify what the court has set in motion. Once it reaches that, we are enforcing a court order. And we're kind of bound by that court order with how it happens. Fingers crossed, we don't have any more that go to this point. But you never know, and we do have a list of roughly 32 properties currently. I guess 36 now, because there's 2 have been remedied. So fingers crossed they go smoothly, or we don't have to get to that point. And that's that, so we'll continue. Other business, you have anything for other business?
I do not.
Does the board? Okay, executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056C to discuss real estate and economic development.
Make that motion.
Motion. Second, any discussion? See none, all those in favor? It's everybody. All right, number 17 here, discussion action on disposal of town-owned property.
Do we need a motion on this one, right, for release back to the one?
Yes, yep. Motion and a second, to sign the quick claim deed back to Dylan Lambert. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody? And then, motion to sign the, purchase and sales agreement on, where's the address, 13 Wade Street.
So moved.
There's a motion
A second.
and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's everybody. Final act of the evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
A second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's everybody.